We talked about Iraq and the fact that Iraqi government officials say that the crucial Mosul dam has now been retaken, but the United States is not necessarily confirming that. So let's bring in Clifford May. He is in Washington. He is president of the Foundation of Defense of Democracies. Clifford, we know that the U.S. has certainly boosted its military efforts with airstrikes in recent days. How helpful has this been for Kurdish forces?
Oh, it's helped a lot. It's allowed Kurdish forces to get back on the offensive. It's allowed them to regroup. It's allowed them to get some more advanced armament than they've had and to take some territory. And as you were just saying, perhaps to take back the dam, which is a very strategic asset. Now, the only thing I'd say is, as helpful as it's been, this is tactical rather than strategic. What I mean by that is it helps in the present battle, but it doesn't go very far towards solving the longer range dilemma of these forces of the so-called Islamic State, which now have occupied and are controlling a swath of land in Syria and Iraq the size of Belgium.
Well, you know, ISIS is certainly denying that it's lost control of the dam, so it's really not clear at this point what exactly is going on there. But what does it say about the strength of ISIS that it's taken Iraqi and Kurdish and U.S. forces to even push them back?
It says that there was not a good understanding of what this force was and how it has been developing. At one point, President Obama, you may know, referred to them as the junior varsity team. In other words, saying they weren't very good or very professional. In fact, they are very good. They are very hardened. They are very well experienced. This is a group, ISIS, or now the Islamic State, as they prefer to call themselves, is a group that grew out of al-Qaeda in Iraq back in the time when the Americans were there. They have been developing into really a terrorist, jihadist army. And they've gotten stronger as they've conquered territory because they've been able to take away very advanced equipment from the Iraqi military, which the U.S. in most cases gave the Iraqi military, and they seem to know how to use that equipment rather well. Now, their tactics are still probably no match for the U.S., but they were pretty good at going up, better than most people expected, including people in the region I spoke to, when they went up against the Peshmerga, which are the Kurdish forces, which are very strong, disciplined forces, but they don't have very good military equipment. They didn't get it from the U.S., though they asked for it, and they didn't get it from the central government in Iraq, though they asked for it.
Clifford, you mentioned that this was tactical, not strategic, at least this effort to retake the Mosul dam. Do you think the United States is going to have to be involved for quite some time now?
Well, I do think so, and I think we need to make up our mind to that, and this is one of the most important foreign policy crises and dilemmas facing the United States, and I think facing the West, is what we're going to do about the growth of this very large jihadist army in Syria, in Iraq, in the heart of the Islamic world. It's difficult because it is Sunni and it is opposed to Iran, but Iran is also, I would argue, jihadist and looking to establish its power, its dominance, its hegemony in the region. So the trick is, how do we fight the Islamic State without benefiting the Islamic Republic of Iran, neither of which wish us well, both of which have very, very hostile and indeed lethal intentions, not only to the minorities of the region, but also to us in the West. This is a real foreign policy dilemma that has been brewing for a long time. It's time to think of a more overarching strategy, to use Hillary Clinton's phrase.
All right. Always appreciate your insight. Clifford May, thanks so much.